Your silence after their rejection is killing them. Today, we're exploring a silent power that's often underestimated: your silence after their rejection. You've been there, giving everything, sacrificing, hoping they'd see your worth. But they rejected you, dismissed your care, and maybe even made you feel invisible. Now, you've pulled back, no more reaching out, no more being at their call. And this silence, it's louder than any words you could say. They may act fine in public, but behind closed doors, they're feeling the emptiness you left. Every quiet moment, every unanswered text, reminds them of the value they overlooked. This isn't about revenge, it's about respect. Respect for yourself and your worth. So let's affirm, silence is my superpower. Say it and own it. In the silence, they're finally seeing what they lost. Stick around to see how your silence shifts the dynamic and strengthens you. Ready? Let's dive in. Number 1. Feeling the weight of regret. As we dive into this next stage, we reach a point they can no longer escape: the deep and heavy weight of regret. This is where your silence becomes a force they can't brush off, a quiet but profound reminder of everything they lost when they underestimated you. In the beginning, they may have played it cool, posting as if life was better without you, putting on a show of laughter and confidence. But now, your absence is sinking in, and it's hitting them harder than they ever expected. Regret, like an uninvited guest, has started to follow them around, and it's something they can't simply ignore or shake off. Your silence has created a mirror, forcing them to look back at all the moments they took you for granted, all the times they failed to appreciate what you brought into their life. They're haunted now by memories of every little thing you did for them, every kindness you extended that they barely noticed, every sacrifice you made without asking for anything in return. And now, those memories are all they have left of you. It's a painful reality, and whether or not they admit it, they're beginning to feel the emptiness your presence once filled. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Right now, they're standing in the wake of that end, realizing what it truly means to lose someone who gave them so much without demanding anything back. They're not just feeling lonely, they're feeling the weight of knowing that they had something real, something valuable, and they let it slip away. Regret becomes their shadow, always lurking, growing more intense with every quiet moment they spend alone. Imagine it like a storm they're trying to ignore, but the longer your silence lasts, the harder it is for them to hold back the flood of regret and recognition. This isn't about missing the idea of you. It's about coming to terms with the fact that they made a choice, whether they meant to or not, to push you away, to undervalue you, and now they're left dealing with the consequences. Let's think about this from the perspective of Stoicism, which teaches that true control comes from within. You didn't walk away to make them regret. You chose silence to reclaim your peace and respect. In this moment, they're beginning to understand that they're not in control, that they can't just reach out to pull you back whenever they feel like it. The power has shifted, and they're no longer the one making the decisions. And that's the true sting of regret, realizing that they had the chance to cherish you, to hold on to someone who brought so much value to their life, and now they're left with nothing but a memory. The ball is in your court now, and they're grappling with the knowledge that they can't undo what's done. Epictetus once remarked, "Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him." Your silence, this circumstance, has revealed something profound, forcing them to face a side of themselves they may not like. The truth is, your silence has become a teacher, showing them the consequences of their choices, the weight of their carelessness. And now, here's an open-ended question for you to consider. What would it mean for you to truly embrace this silence, to let it work not only on them, but on you as well? Instead of wondering if they're feeling the weight of their loss, imagine pouring all that energy back into yourself. What could you become if you redirected that focus, that energy, toward your own growth, your own goals, and your own happiness? This silence is more than a void left in their life. It's an opportunity for you to create a new beginning rooted in your own self-worth and strength. You see, the beauty of this stage is that it allows you to see the truth, to realize that your worth doesn't depend on someone else's ability to see it. This is a moment of power and clarity for you, a chance to remember that your peace, your growth, and your self-respect are the ultimate gifts you can give yourself. Next, imagine a scenario where you invested so much in a relationship, where you gave your best without hesitation. But now, as you let silence fill the space they once occupied, you're also allowing that silence to work within you, to strengthen your resolve, to remind you of your own worth. In this moment, as they sit with regret, your thoughts are free, your mind is clear, no longer dyed by someone else's failure to appreciate you. You're letting silence be the canvas on which you paint a new life, a life where your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's perception. The regret they feel, that's theirs to carry, not yours to ease. Let's talk about regret for a moment. It's a universal feeling, something we all experience, but it serves as a powerful teacher. In fact, Stoic lessons often emphasize the value of recognizing our mistakes, of learning from the moments we took others for granted. So in a way, your silence is helping them grow, but more importantly, it's helping you grow. They may wrestle with this regret, trying to mask it, trying to push it away, but deep down, they're beginning to understand the value of what they lost. If they truly care, this regret will move them towards self-reflection, maybe even humility, as they come to terms with what they missed out on. But if they don't care, if their regret is shallow or short-lived, then at least now you have the clarity to know where they stand, and you're free to let go fully. It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them, said Epictetus, reminding us that what truly matters is how we choose to interpret the silence, the absence, the lessons. So here's a truth I want you to hold on to. Whether or not they fully understand their regret, your job is not to wait for their realization. Your job is to keep moving forward, to continue building a life that brings you peace and fulfillment. Regret may be weighing on them, and it may even be pulling at their pride, but that's for them to confront. For you, this silence is a doorway, a chance to walk into a life where your self-worth isn't contingent upon someone else's appreciation. As you move forward, affirm to yourself, I am worth more than their regret. I choose myself over anyone's temporary feelings. This is a declaration of your strength, a reminder that you are no longer defined by someone else's delayed realization of your worth. Think of this silence as a shield, a boundary that protects you from being pulled back into a cycle of regret, doubt, and compromise. In embracing this silence, you're honoring one of the core tenets of Stoicism, valuing inner peace over external validation. You're letting their regret be a mirror, a reflection of their own choices, and in doing so, you're freeing yourself to live a life that's full, vibrant, and grounded in self-respect. This journey isn't about them realizing what they lost. It's about you discovering the strength and value you hold within, and if in their regret they come to appreciate you, then let that be a choice they make, not a result of your waiting or hoping. Remember, this silence is not just a phase, it's a powerful transformation, a step toward a life where you are in control of your happiness, your peace, and your growth. As we continue this journey together, remember that the lessons of Stoicism, the wisdom of philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, aren't just ancient teachings, they're guiding principles for building a life of dignity, strength, and unshakable self-worth. You're not just living through this silence, You're rising above it. So hold firm, because there's more clarity, more strength, and more peace yet to come. Number 2. Wearing the mask of indifference. In the world of Stoic rules and timeless wisdom from philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, silence is a profound act of self-respect and resilience. This journey through silence and self-reflection reveals not only the truth in others, but also the strength within you. Here we are at the phase where they wear what I like to call the mask of indifference, a mask that hides their discomfort as they act like your absence doesn't matter. They'll put on a show, posting on social media, laughing with friends, even hinting at how much better they're doing. But don't be fooled. Beneath the surface, that mask of indifference is often just a shield, one they use to hide the growing emptiness your absence is beginning to leave in their life. It's like watching a poker game where they're bluffing with a straight face, doing everything to keep you from knowing just how deeply your silence is cutting through. And they're hoping you'll fall for it, hoping you'll break first and reach out. But let's get real. That mask is not their reality. It's their way of maintaining control. Consider what Epictetus once said. Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him. Right now, your absence, your silence, is doing just that. It's revealing more about them than you might realize. For many of us, this mask of indifference is enough to make us second-guess our decision. You might start to wonder, is my silence even doing anything? Does it even matter to them? But understand that the indifference you see is often a defense, a desperate attempt to hold on to control. They want to appear as if they're moving on effortlessly, but deep down, that mask is hiding the cracks. And as you stay silent, that mask grows heavier, harder for them to hold up. This is where a lot of people slip up. They reach out thinking, maybe they just don't care, or maybe they've already moved on. But doing that is giving them what they want, control. The second you reach out, even just to check in, you hand them the power and give them the comfort of knowing they still matter enough for you to break your silence. Your job isn't to ease their discomfort. Your job is to let them sit with it. If you will, a quiet storm brewing inside them, a storm they're trying hard to ignore. They go about their day, acting normal, holding that mask in place, but the tension is building. Your silence is the mirror reflecting their choices and behaviors back at them, and it's becoming a reminder of everything they took for granted. It's easy to think that your silence only requires you to sit quietly and wait, but there's a deeper purpose here. Silence, when paired with action, becomes unstoppable. This is your time not just to wait, but to work on yourself. Imagine this phase as a forge where you're building yourself up like iron, becoming stronger, sharper, more resilient. Every day that you resist the urge to reach out is another day you're investing in your growth, becoming the person who doesn't just sit by, but moves forward with strength and focus. Let me tell you a story that may resonate. Think of someone who once gave everything in a relationship. They sacrificed dreams, put aside personal goals, and made themselves available at every turn. When that relationship ended, they chose to pull back in silence, to let the silence speak for them. Initially, the other person seemed unaffected, flaunting their new life, acting as if nothing had changed. But as weeks turned into months, the void left by that silence began to deepen. This silence wasn't a punishment, it was a boundary, a space for both of them to confront what was real. In the end, the person who chose silence discovered a renewed sense of purpose, passion, and identity, while the one who once seemed indifferent started to feel the emptiness settling in. Silence is not just an absence of words, it's a powerful boundary that gives both people the space to see what truly matters. This story isn't just about love, It's about any connection where your value goes unseen. What would happen if, instead of reaching out, you used this time to focus on yourself, to cultivate a life so fulfilling and strong that it didn't depend on anyone else's approval? Marcus Aurelius once wisely noted, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." Let this silence be a gift to yourself, a time to strengthen your mind, your goals, and your inner peace. Their judgments, their mask, and their indifference, those are their burdens, not yours. The only thing that matters is the judgment you hold for yourself, the commitment to your own path. Here's the real beauty of this silence. It becomes a test, not of who cares more, but of who can truly stand independently. If there's real love or respect beneath that mask, your silence will begin to pull at them, revealing emotions they may have been too proud to express. And if they start to feel that pull, they'll face the reality that losing you may have been a bigger cost than they anticipated. But if, on the other hand, there's only emptiness behind that mask, then your silence serves as a revelation, a way of showing you that this person may not be worth your energy. After all, why pour yourself into someone who only values you when you're readily available? This silence is not about punishing them. It's about respecting yourself enough to see what they're truly made of. Either way, you gain clarity and freedom. So here's an affirmation for this phase of your journey. I am unshaken by their indifference. I am building my own strength and worth. Say this to yourself every time you feel doubt creeping in, every time you wonder if they're even affected by your absence. This is the essence of Stoic principles, the strength to value your peace over someone else's reaction, the wisdom to hold steady regardless of what others show or hide. When you choose to focus on yourself, you're living by one of the most powerful Stoic rules. Do not let external events dictate your inner peace. Let's wrap up with a truth that's both empowering and challenging. Their mask of indifference may or may not crack, but it's not your responsibility to wait around to find out. Your responsibility is to keep moving forward, to keep building a life filled with purpose, growth, and self-worth. If they truly miss you, if they truly value you, they'll come back on their own, drawn by the realization that they've lost someone irreplaceable. But if they don't, then they've done you a favor by freeing up space for someone who genuinely values what you bring to their life. You're no longer swayed by someone else's games or hurt by their mask of indifference. You're becoming the kind of person who knows their worth deeply, a person of iron mind, unshaken and strong. Number 3. Realization that you're gone. In the journey of self-discovery and self-respect, modern Stoicism teaches us the power of silence, a force that's stronger than any argument, louder than any words, and more revealing than any plea. When someone who once took you for granted finally senses your absence, there's a profound realization they face, a moment that echoes with the weight of everything they've lost. They may maintain their public face, showing the world they're unfazed, but underneath, in the quiet moments when the noise fades, they're left with the undeniable void where you once stood. Now, this moment of realization is powerful, but it's also delicate. Many of us, in the early stages of embracing silence, feel tempted to reach back out, to check in, to let them know we're still there, hoping that maybe this time they'll truly see our worth. However, every time we break that silence, we give away a piece of the power we've painstakingly built. As Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This silence is not just about removing yourself from their reach, but about allowing them to sit with their own thoughts, their own memories, and ultimately, their own regrets. In this phase of iron mind development, it's essential to resist the impulse to wait passively for their recognition. Silence is not a passive stance, it's an active redirection of energy. Instead of looking at the phone, waiting for that message that might never come, turn inward. Focus on your own growth, your own peace, and your own strength. Picture this silence as a garden where you're no longer watering a relationship that didn't nurture you, but instead are cultivating your own inner resilience. This journey is an opportunity to become stronger, to learn, to refine, and to create a life that thrives independently of anyone's approval or presence. Think of it as stepping into a new version of yourself, a person who values their peace, their growth, and their own journey above someone else's attention. This silence, when properly held, plants a seed of realization in them. If they truly valued you, if your presence was meaningful to them, that absence will grow within them like a seed seeking light. They will start to understand, in ways that words could never convey, the gravity of what they lost. If their feelings were real, this absence will stir something in them that they can't ignore. And here's the beauty of it. If their care is genuine, they'll find their way back to you, because silence has a way of stripping down to the truth. If they don't reach back, it's a revelation too. It reveals that perhaps the connection they had with you was only skin deep, a fleeting comfort they took without gratitude. As Seneca says, if you want a true friend, break away from the ones who would not grieve to lose you. This insight brings clarity to the nature of the relationship. It shows you who's worth your energy and who isn't. Now imagine yourself walking forward, not waiting or glancing back, but focusing on a path that's guided by your own growth and peace. When you choose yourself, when you choose this silent strength, the right people will notice, and the wrong ones will drift away. If they were meant to be with you, they'll catch up. If not, then you're better off without them. Each step you take in this silence leads to greater clarity, peace, and self-worth. As you embark on this path, remind yourself of this affirmation. I choose myself over their attention. My silence is my strength, and my path is my own. This is the essence of Stoic secrets, knowing your worth without needing validation, finding your strength in moments of solitude, and valuing your inner peace above external approval. Say this affirmation out loud, write it down, make it your mantra. In choosing yourself, you're embracing the very core of Stoicism, to be self-sufficient, unshaken, and resilient in the face of any outcome. It's tempting to wonder, do they miss me? Will they come back? But realize that the answers will come naturally as you move forward, focused not on them, but on your own growth. In this silence, you're not just waiting, you're building a stronger foundation, one that doesn't depend on someone else's recognition. Each step of silence reveals more about their true feelings and your own strength. By trusting this process, you give yourself the gift of clarity, resilience, and the peace of knowing that you are enough, with or without anyone's acknowledgement. Hold on to this silence, because it is in these quiet moments that the real answers come. This journey is only beginning, and with each step forward, you will come closer to understanding the profound power that silence holds. In embracing modern Stoicism, you are letting go of the need for validation and standing firm in the knowledge that your worth is intrinsic, unshaken by the opinions or actions of others. You're not just going through silence, you're moving toward a life of peace, clarity, and unbreakable inner strength. Stay strong, stay committed, and let this silence become the greatest testament to your resilience. If you've reached this final stage and feel the strength of choosing yourself, leave a quick comment below. I am free. Just those 3 words to affirm your journey and claim your strength. Number 4. Trying to replace you with someone new. At this stage, they're starting to feel the true impact of your absence, but instead of looking inward and facing their own actions, they might try to take the easy way out, rushing to replace you with someone new, hoping that this person can fill the gap you left. It's often painful to watch as they jump into another relationship or surround themselves with new people, almost as if they're attempting to erase what you shared by covering it up. Yet, don't be deceived. This is a diversion, not a resolution. This attempt to replace you isn't about moving on. It's about avoidance. It's a classic case of seeking a band-aid for a deep wound, a quick fix to cover up the emptiness rather than dealing with it. They might think that by filling their time with someone else, they can sidestep the regret and loneliness that your absence has stirred up. They're running from the silence, masking it with the presence of another, but real healing doesn't work this way. Think of it as trying to complete a puzzle with the wrong pieces. They're forcing a fit that's never going to feel quite right, no matter how hard they try to convince themselves or others that it does. Alain de Botton once said, "People only get truly interesting when they start to rattle the bars of their cages." Instead of shaking free from the emotional cage they find themselves in, they're choosing to stay within its confines, hoping a new face will distract them from the truth. And while they might parade this new connection, flaunting it on social media or sharing it with friends to keep up appearances, the truth is, these gestures are hollow. A substitute can't replace something genuine, and no amount of new faces can replicate the depth of what you once offered. They're merely delaying the inevitable. Sooner or later they'll have to face the emptiness you left behind. The thing is, seeing them move on quickly can trigger self-doubt. You might start wondering if they ever truly cared, or if they've moved on because replacing you was easy. But understand that this isn't about your value. It's about their inability to confront the discomfort your absence has created. When someone runs to someone new right away, it's rarely a testament to their strength or independence. More often, it's an escape route from the challenging emotions that genuine loss brings. This new relationship is less about finding someone special and more about filling a void they can't bear to leave empty. In reality, they're filling their life with placeholders, hoping to dodge the real growth that only introspection and time can bring. If they truly valued the relationship you shared, they'd need time to process, to reflect, to make sense of it all. But rushing to replace you shows that they're more afraid of sitting in silence than committed to understanding the lessons of what they lost. Stoic wisdom encourages us to face uncomfortable truths with courage rather than running from them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In trying to sidestep the feelings that come with losing you, they're missing an opportunity to grow, to confront their own mistakes, and to truly learn from this experience. This distraction may provide temporary comfort, but it prevents them from making the kind of progress that could bring them lasting fulfillment. You might see them with someone new and question if you were ever irreplaceable to them, but remember, true worth isn't something that can be swapped out like a pair of shoes. Real connections are based on mutual respect, understanding, and emotional depth. If they're looking to others to numb the ache of your absence, they're settling for superficial comfort over meaningful connection. This new person in their life, as much as they might try to convince themselves otherwise, is likely a distraction rather than a genuine replacement. Keep this affirmation close to your heart. I am irreplaceable. My value cannot be duplicated or substituted. Say it to yourself with conviction, because your worth was never about their ability to see it or their attempts to replace it. Their actions reflect their own struggle, not your value. So, while they choose to mask the reality of their feelings with new people and temporary distractions, you have the chance to stay grounded, rooted in self-respect, and focused on building a life that isn't shaken by someone else's inability to sit with discomfort. Not everyone has the courage to face their own flaws and mistakes, and many people find it easier to seek external comfort than to confront the truth. This is where modern Stoicism comes in. Your silence, your distance, allows them the opportunity to realize that some gaps can't be filled by mere substitutes, and if they don't come to understand this on their own, then that's a testament to their lack of depth, not your worth. The process of self-growth, of understanding and valuing yourself, requires patience and resilience. Think of your silence as a mirror they can't escape from. Every new person they bring into their life, every distraction they seek, serves as a reminder that the emptiness they feel is not something external, but internal. It's something only they can address. By staying committed to your path, you're giving them, and yourself, the chance to see the truth. Their avoidance might delay their realization, but it can't prevent it forever. In time, they may begin to see that no one else can truly fill the space you once occupied. If they reach this understanding, it will be because they've finally acknowledged the lesson your absence taught them. And if not, then their path will be one of perpetual distraction, never truly finding what they're looking for. Hold firm, keep your boundaries intact, and remember that this journey isn't just about them seeing what they've lost. It's about you solidifying the strength of an iron mind, a mindset grounded in self-worth and an unshakable sense of dignity. Not everyone is willing to step back, reflect, and grow, but by choosing silence, by choosing yourself over their attempts to replace you, you're showing what it means to value one's own peace and self-respect. Stay with me, because as they move from distraction to a deeper understanding, the layers of truth only become more apparent. You're witnessing firsthand the strength that modern Stoicism brings, the wisdom in letting go, and the resilience in understanding that some people will choose shortcuts over growth. So, hold tight. This journey isn't over yet, and there's still so much more to discover about yourself and the power of silence. Number 5. When their world starts falling apart. Now we've reached a critical stage, the moment when the life they thought they'd built without you begins to come apart at the seams. At first, they tried to mask their feelings, putting on a facade of indifference, hoping that by pretending they didn't care, they could move on. When that didn't work, they sought out distractions, filling their time with new people and shallow connections, hoping to numb the ache of your absence. But here's the thing about avoiding reality. No matter how hard they try to escape it, the truth will always catch up. Their world is beginning to fall apart, and the stability they once felt with you is slipping through their fingers like water. You were their constant, their anchor, even if they failed to appreciate it at the time. Your presence provided a foundation they could lean on, consciously or not. And now, without that grounding influence, cracks are beginning to show in everything they thought was secure. It's as though they've been trying to hold their life together with band-aids. But now, as each piece falls away, they're starting to understand the true depth of their loss. They might not say it outright, but there's an emptiness they can't shake off. The distractions that once worked, the routines that kept them going, no longer bring the same comfort. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." They're now beginning to understand the weight of their own wants and desires, realizing that no possession, no temporary relationship, and no surface-level comfort can fill the gap you left. This moment isn't just about missing you, it's about realizing that they've lost something far more profound, the stability, peace, and security that only comes from someone who genuinely cared. What they're feeling now is like a house of cards collapsing, each piece revealing a new layer of emptiness beneath it. They stacked up distractions, quick fixes, and fleeting connections to create an illusion of control. But without you as the foundation, it's all crumbling. Imagine this unraveling as the moment they realize that every piece of their life feels a bit unsteady. Friendships that once felt fun and effortless now seem shallow. Work that was once meaningful feels uninspired and empty. They might find themselves more irritable, unable to concentrate, feeling as though they're missing something fundamental, something they once took for granted. And you know what that something is? It's the sense of calm and security that your presence brought to their world. This stage, when people begin to feel the weight of what they've lost, is often unavoidable. Sometimes the only way people understand value is through its absence. As they face each unraveling piece of their life, they're confronted with the reality that they built a world without valuing the foundation you provided, and now they're forced to face the consequences. You may feel a tug of sympathy, maybe even the urge to reach out and ease their discomfort. But remember, this is their journey, not yours. They need to face this moment, to feel the weight of their choices without the cushion of your support. By stepping back, you're allowing them to see that the world they thought was solid and unshakable was, in fact, fragile without you in it. They built their lives around a foundation they didn't appreciate, and now they're finally seeing the consequences. This is the moment when many people start to awaken to the importance of what they lost, realizing that no amount of external validation, no new relationship, and no material possession can replace the peace they once found with you. As Marcus Aurelius, another prominent Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." What they're experiencing is necessary, an essential part of the process of reckoning with what they took for granted. Just as nature reshapes itself through cycles of growth and decay, they must confront this collapse to understand the reality of what they had and lost. The unraveling of their life is their wake-up call, the point where they must reckon with their own choices and confront the impact of their actions. They may try to reach out, looking for any hint of stability to hold on to, but this is not your burden to carry. Instead, remember that your strength is your own. You were the stability they leaned on, but now, in your absence, they must find a way to build that strength within themselves. As you watch them go through this, ground yourself in the reminder, I am the stability they lost, but my strength is my own. Say this as often as you need to, allowing it to reinforce your sense of self-worth and peace. Your value isn't determined by their regret, and your purpose is not to save them from the consequences of their actions. In fact, this process, this collapse, is necessary for their growth. It's a painful but powerful reminder of the Stoic principle that true strength comes from within, not from others. By standing firm, by holding on to your own peace and not allowing their struggle to become your responsibility, you're honoring one of the most important Stoic rules: to remain steady, calm and grounded, even when others are floundering. As they face the unraveling of their world, they're learning a truth they can't ignore, that some losses can't be replaced, and some people are irreplaceable. They'll come to understand that quick fixes and shallow distractions only mask pain temporarily. Real growth comes from facing that pain, sitting with it, and understanding the lessons it brings. This journey is far from over, and as they move through the aftermath of their choices, the reality of what they've lost will only become clearer. For you, this is a moment to reaffirm your strength, to remember that you were, and still are, the grounding force they needed but failed to appreciate. Stay with me, because the path is revealing more truths with every step. Hold strong, because as their world continues to crumble, The wisdom and clarity of Stoic principles will only guide you further toward your own peace and strength. Number 6. Struggling in the silent void. Now we're entering the most profound stage, where all distractions fade and they're left alone in what can only be described as a silent void, an empty, hollow space where your presence once provided warmth and certainty. At first, they tried to cover up the loss, to fill the emptiness with new connections, distractions, and quick fixes, hoping that time and novelty would make them forget. But the facade has crumbled, and all that remains is a silence that grows heavier each day, an aching absence that refuses to disappear. In this stillness, stripped of all their pretenses, they're forced to face the echo of their own choices and to confront, in the most uncomfortable way, what they let slip through their fingers. It's here, in this void, that they truly start to struggle. Your silence has become a mirror, revealing to them the emptiness they tried so hard to avoid, making them realize that no distraction, no temporary connection can replace what they lost. This silence is not just any silence, it's a relentless, gnawing ache, an emptiness that they cannot simply ignore or move past. They may have thought that moving forward would be easy, that they could bypass this pain, and that it would fade with time. But the philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." Now your silence is their struggle, a persistent void that serves as a quiet reminder of the stability and warmth they took for granted. Picture it as though they're wandering in a desert, looking for anything to quench their thirst, searching for even a drop of comfort. But there's nothing. This silence is like that desert, vast and barren, echoing back at them, "This is what you chose." They're realizing in this barren space that they let go of something irreplaceable, and no matter how hard they try to move forward, they keep coming back to the same emptiness, feeling the unmistakable weight of your absence pressing down on them. This void, this silence, is a unique kind of pain, one that doesn't shout, but whispers steadily. It's not a loud, dramatic scene. It's a quiet, ceaseless ache that grows day by day. They feel it in the early hours of the morning, when they wake up to silence instead of a message from you. They feel it in the unremarkable moments of their day, when they go about their routines, realizing they can no longer reach out to you, no longer count on you for comfort or support. They feel it at night, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling only the empty space that they once took for granted. Each day, they're confronted by the void your silence has created, a reminder of the value they didn't see until it was gone. And here's the real impact. This void isn't just a phase. It's a mirror of the loyalty and stability they failed to appreciate, a reflection of what they lost. At this stage, you might feel tempted to reach out, to check on them, to see if they've understood the consequences of their actions. But remember, this silence isn't about causing them pain. It's about allowing them to sit with the weight of their choices. They need to experience this struggle, to fully confront this void, to recognize what they let slip away. As hard as it may be to watch, this silence is necessary. It's not your role to rescue them from this emptiness. It's theirs to face and hopefully to learn from. Stoicism teaches us the importance of inner resilience and clarity, and your silence, your decision to step back, is a testament to your own strength and respect for yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In choosing silence, you're exercising this power, showing them that your worth is not something they can easily replace. Now, what does this silence reveal about them? If they truly valued you, this void will force them to confront that truth. It will evoke feelings they can't ignore, pushing them to reflect, to question their own actions, and to understand that they let go of something rare and genuine. If their feelings were real, this silence will become unbearable, showing them what they lost. However, if they didn't truly care, if they can navigate this emptiness unaffected, then this silence will reveal that as well. Either way, this silence will act as a litmus test, revealing the depth or lack thereof of their commitment and sincerity. It's a mirror showing them the reality of their choices, forcing them to grapple with the truth in ways they might have never expected. So, hold on to this affirmation. My silence speaks of my strength and worth. Each day, let this remind you that your silence is not weakness. It's a decision, a powerful choice to respect yourself enough to step back, allowing them to confront the void they created. By staying silent, you're embracing one of the essential Stoic lessons, the strength in restraint, in allowing others to learn from their own choices without interference. It's a reminder that you're no longer here to make them comfortable or ease their struggles. Instead, you're honoring your value by giving them the space to understand it on their own. In this silent void, clarity will only deepen. Each day that they wake up to silence, each moment they feel that empty space where your presence once was, they are being shown the reality of what they lost. You're not only seeing the truth of their character, but you're also grounding yourself in your own worth. The journey isn't over, and as this silence continues, the truth will come out in ways even they can't ignore. This void is leading them to a deeper reckoning, a moment where they'll finally come face to face with the consequences of their own actions. As this journey unfolds, remember that your silence is far from empty. It's a testament to your strength, a reflection of your self-worth, and a choice to respect yourself above all else. Hold tight, because this is far from over. If you're embracing your own worth and letting go, type "moving forward" in the comments to mark this moment. It's time to walk your own path with strength. Number 7. Breaking down or breaking through. We're here at the final stage, a moment of reckoning where the weight of all that's come before lands squarely on their shoulders. This is where they either break down or break through, forced to face a reality they can no longer escape. After the masks, the distractions, and the endless attempts to replace what you brought into their life, they're left with a choice: to either confront the truth of what they've lost, taking responsibility for their actions and growing from it, or to remain stuck, buried under a regret that will only grow heavier with time. For some, this moment becomes a breaking point. They may spiral into a mix of guilt, loneliness, and painful recognition that what they thought would pass as just another loss has become something far deeper and more permanent. They may have hoped this ache would fade, that time would heal it, but now they're faced with an emptiness that persists no matter what they do. It's a slow, agonizing unraveling, like a shadow they can't shake off, reminding them of what they lost through their own choices, actions, and negligence. Others, however, choose a different path. For them, your absence becomes more than just a painful void. It becomes a spark, a wake-up call that they can no longer ignore. In this silence, they experience a moment of clarity, a sudden awareness that their choices have consequences, that they have an opportunity here to confront parts of themselves they've kept hidden for too long. It's a rare chance to look inward and recognize the flaws and missteps that led to this loss, and if they're courageous, they'll start to break through rather than break down. This clarity can be an opportunity for growth, where they come face to face with the truth of their actions and how they contributed to the very emptiness they now feel. Growth, however, isn't easy, and it certainly isn't guaranteed. It requires them to summon strength, humility, and a willingness to change, qualities not everyone has the resilience to draw upon. Think of this stage as a fork in the road, one path leading them to remain defined by the silence, sinking further into regret and resentment, and the other offering a chance for transformation, like iron that's refined by fire. This moment has the potential to reshape them into someone better, someone who finally understands the value of what they had. But real transformation demands action, and it demands ownership of the past. They have to choose whether they'll allow this silence to be an obstacle or an opening. And this is where the words of Marcus Aurelius resonate deeply. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your silence has become their obstacle, forcing them to choose either the path of growth or to remain stagnant. If they break through, it will be because they found the courage to learn and face the truth. But if they break down, it's because they chose to stay mired in the past, unwilling to confront the pain of their own actions. Here's where the beauty of this stage lies. Whichever path they choose, you're no longer tied to their journey. Their growth, or lack thereof, is no longer your burden to carry or your responsibility to manage. You took the brave and difficult step of creating distance, of allowing them the space to face their own choices without stepping in to soften the blow. You made the conscious decision to walk away and give them the freedom to confront their reality without your support as a safety net. Whether they use this space to grow or remain stuck is a journey they must face alone. If they choose growth, they may reach out with newfound respect, maybe even an apology, but remember, this journey was never about waiting for them to see your worth. It was about reclaiming your own strength, valuing yourself enough to let them face the full weight of their choices. 7.1. This final stage, then, is about your freedom. It's your release from any remaining hope or expectation that they'll change, that they'll suddenly become the person you once thought they were. This moment is about recognizing that you've grown, you've transformed, and now you're finally free. You no longer need their validation, their acknowledgement, or their regret to confirm your worth. In the spirit of Stoic secrets and the teachings of modern Stoicism, you've built an iron mind, one that remains steady and unshaken regardless of what they choose to do. You've become someone who values peace over promises, who holds strength in silence, and who understands that true worth isn't defined by another person's ability to see it. This is your moment to walk forward with clarity, recognizing that your worth doesn't hinge on someone else's capacity to appreciate it. As we reach the end of this journey, take a moment to acknowledge your own strength. Drop a simple but powerful affirmation in the comments. I am free now. Because this is truly the end of one path and the beginning of another, a path that's fully yours to walk. You've grown, you've transformed, and now you're free to let go of the weight of their journey, free to step forward unburdened and unbound. Remember, this silence you held was not a punishment, but a decision, a testament to your strength, a reminder that your worth is something only you can define. Now, you're ready to live that truth. As we wrap up this journey, remember, every step you took was about reclaiming your strength and setting boundaries that honor your true worth. Whether they realize what they've lost or not, you've gained clarity, confidence, and independence, gifts far more valuable than any approval. This journey wasn't easy, but look at the strength you've discovered within yourself. Now, it's time to move forward, empowered and free. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos. And before you go, drop a quick note in the comments. Are you ready for a new chapter, or are you enjoying your independence? We'd love to hear from you. Remember, you've come so far, and this is just the beginning of the freedom and fulfillment that's yours to claim.